Today I will be explaining to you all about how social media does more harm than it does good, and that everyone should be more mindful by the way that they use it. So every morning, imagine waking up and the first thing you do is you reach for your phone before you even get out of bed. You're already comparing yourself to someone else's vacation, body, relationship, or lifestyle. Most of us do that without even realizing. While social media helps us stay connected, you don't realize how negative it can really be on our mental health, relationships, and our daily lives. I'm ready to demonstrate that social media does more harm than good because we don't realize how negative it can really be. I use social media every day, just like how people my age do. I've seen how easily it is to spend hours on scrolling without even realizing it. But I've also researched this topic by trusted organizations and studies. I'll be explaining to you all how social media affects mental health and how it can impact our relationship and communication. And I'll also be explaining how it reduces productivity and wastes time. So, social media negatively affects our mental health. People constantly compare themselves to unrealistic images on social media. Most people post their best moments of their lives, creating unexpected expectations. Constant comparison can lower your self-esteem and increase many feelings such as anxiety and sadness. The American Psychological Association explains that social media can contribute to anxiety, depression, cyberbullying, poor self-esteem, especially young adolescents and young adults. Social media can become really addictive. Endless scrolling makes it difficult to put our phones down. Spending hours can interfere with sleep, school, work, and more. The U.S. Surgeon General's Advocacy on Social Media and Young Mental Health warns that excessive social media use is associated with increased risk to help mental health encourage healthier online habits. Now, mental health isn't the only thing being affected. Social media also changes the way we communicate with people around us. So social media weakens real-life relationships. Friends, families often sit together while everybody's focused on their phones. The reason I say this is because there is real-life examples how families do gather around, and you probably look up and notice that everybody's on their phones instead of interacting with one another. Even face-to-face conversations, they become less meaningful when someone is distracted. Let's say talking to somebody and they're on their phone, they're not paying attention to you while you're talking to them. So you feel like you're just talking to a wall. That's a distraction that we really don't put ourselves into. Online communication can lead to misunderstandings. Text messages and comments lack facial expressions and tone of voice. Let's say you're sending a text message to somebody and you put an emoji, but like the other person doesn't get that same message as how you're directing it to. They can be thinking of like a different way of like, if you're mad, you're probably not mad, and stuff like that. Cyberbullying and negative comments spread so much faster online than in person. The U.S. Surgeon General has reported that relying on digital communication instead of in-person interaction can contribute to loneliness and weaker social connections. Based on social media affecting our relationships, our mental health, it also has a major impact of how we spend our time. Social media decreases productivity. People spend more time scrolling than they realize. For example, I work at a customer service job, which is phones. Customers often come in, sometimes they don't. I realize that I'm on my phone majority of the time that I'm there. A quick 5-minute check often turns into an hour or maybe even more. That time could be spent on studying, exercising, or even enjoying hobbies that you like. That time Every notification breaks concentration, making it harder to conquer your daily activities. Let's say somebody is just waiting on a notification. That's still a distraction of using your phone. Instead, you could be doing so much other more things instead of waiting for a notification on your phone. Constant distractions reduce productivity in many ways. A Pew Research Center study found that social media can be used and it can be useful. Many people also use it as a distraction during work, like how I mentioned, and every task which can reduce productivity. The most recent Pew research also found that many teens believe that social media hurts their productivity. When we were younger, as in my brother and I, we really didn't have a phone growing up. We were on our screens, we were mainly outside. So we didn't have that screen time or hurting our productivity because we didn't have that phone or social media. So I do believe that the teens nowadays have that privilege, even younger than like 9 years old, and they have a phone, which is something that probably shouldn't be normalized. Now that we looked at the negatives about social media and our mental health, our relationships, and productivity, let's quickly review why this issue matters. We've learned that social media can negatively affect our mental health through comparison and addiction. Weaken our relationships by reducing face-to-face interactions and decreasing productivity by distracting us from what's most important to us. Social media isn't necessarily bad, but the way we use it can have some serious consequences. Setting time limits, taking breaks, and being more intentional with our screen time, we can enjoy its benefits without letting it control our lives. I hope the next time you reach for your phone, you'll take a moment to ask for yourself whether social media is helping your life or is just simply taking it away.